Hey everyone, Gary Simon of Corsetro. So in yesterday's video, somebody in the comments asked me to do a tutorial on Dreamweaver. Now Dreamweaver is an app that I personally haven't used in well over 10 years. I think it's been like 13, maybe 12 or 13. I remember a company called Macromedia. They're the original creators of Dreamweaver, and basically it was back then it's an HTML CSS editor that provided a lot of shortcuts so you didn't have to sit there typing out all your code. Very much similar to the old school Microsoft front page, which I had used as well, like 97 and front page 97 and 98. So, for a long time, I had a negative viewpoint of these types of software because the code that it generated a lot of times was just not very good. It was excessive and many times. So it's just always better just to write out your code like that. So I have not touched Dreamweaver at all, even while stating this video right now. I haven't opened it yet. So I actually just installed it with Adobe Creative Cloud, which I have a full subscription for, and we're going to take a look at the interface, and I'm going to give you just my off-the-cuff opinion about it, the interface, see how much it has changed, and see if I could do a very, very simple project and try to figure it all out and see how much it's changed throughout the years, all right? So I thought it'd be a fun, interesting video in that way. If you enjoyed it, make sure you check out Corsetro.com and maybe even more importantly, subscribe here if you haven't yet. All right, see you guys real soon. Let's get started. All right, so here we go. We are in Creative Cloud. As you can see right here, it just installed a little bit ago, but I have not opened it up yet. So here we go. Open. Now it's kind of showing up on my other monitor. All right, wow. I'm really surprised because this almost has that look and feel of Visual Studio Code. It has like the dark UI going on here. Same sort of layout, actually. I'm really surprised. I was expecting it to be more visual in a sense, kind of how it was back in the day. Let's see if I hit Control Plus. Yeah, same thing as with Visual Studio Code. You can increase the font size here. All right, so this obviously is some type of starter that they have going on here. We got our CSS right here, JavaScript. So let's see. The first thing I think I want to do is see if I'm able to scale up the UI. So if I go to Edit, we have Preferences. All right, and most Adobe products have like an interface section right here. All right, so apparently I can't increase the size unless I increase the default size of all windows, probably here in Windows 10, but yeah, there may be an area, but I'm not going to spend too much time trying to find it. It would probably be under that, but at least I was able to, I was just going to say I was able to brighten up the UI, but I hit cancel like an idiot. So let's do that and hit apply. There we go. All right, now we can close. At least we can see the interface a little bit better. It was kind of dark, and it reset my thing here. So let's see. The first thing I want to do is discover if this even has the old school preview option. So let's see here. Maybe I'll just go to File, New. We're going to start brand new. That makes the most sense. All right. So right here is a new document window. You can choose types here. We have starter templates and site templates even. So framework, Bootstrap, okay. I would have liked to see other up here, and like a foundation would be cool to see, but Bootstrap is the most popular. Document type. So let's just take a look at the starter templates. I'd like to see that. So we have basic layouts, a simple grid, single page. So that'd be like a landing page. Bootstrap templates. So we have e-commerce. Okay, email templates and responsive starters, a blog post, about page, e-commerce. Now, what is a site template? you must first create a site and then create a template in that site. Okay, so that's something that you create on your own. So starter templates is where we would probably start. So just to keep things simple, let's do a single page and hit create. All right, so I'm gonna hit Control Plus again. I don't like that it resets. It should remember that stuff. Now let's come over here to this toolbar. We have open, we have file management. All right, so that's like a FTP sort of thing, I would assume. Format source code, apply comment, and remove comment, and then there's other stuff down here. We can customize the toolbar. Let's hit view. Now what is live code? Oh, okay. All right, so what they're providing us here is with a basic starter template. Now I remember, I remember all the way back to front page 97, I think it was, from 1997, and as well as the old school Dreamweaver, like where they had, it was much more visual in terms of like a UI builder. I'm wondering if they still have something like that. So if I go to Tools, Code Navigator, Tag Libraries, clean up HTML, Manage Fonts, Library, templates. So I think it looks like, I mean, it's a little bit early for me to say, but it looks like they've moved away from that and instead just provide you with templates. All right. So let's, now is this based on Bootstrap? I don't think so. It has associated HTML or CSS right here. And it is quite lengthy. The code doesn't look bad though. Now let's see if this is responsive. So it looks like up here, okay, you click on these and it gives you the a view real quick of the different viewports here for different device sizes. So that's pretty cool. So let's say, for instance, oh, okay. This is the very first one that showed up. Let me click out of that. So live code. Let's try updating the H2. It says hero and light. Wait, what's going on here? What is going? Oh, okay. Apparently, I probably have to make my adjustments up there. So, is that how you spell villain? I think so. All right. So, section. Okay. So this is kind of what I was looking for. You click on this, and you get these little pop-ups right here. Section hero, and it will highlight the code associated with where you're clicking. So right here, like this text, which is, I think it's right here. Yeah. If we click on this little hamburger icon menu, we can change the format, all right, to different HTML element type elements. And then also link in bold, italic, blah, blah, blah. All right. We could change the class name right here. And then we can add a class or ID. So we could do whatever. Oops, I have all caps going on there. All right, so now it just added whatever. So this is, I guess, a visual way to construct the page. So I'm wondering, what if I wanted to add like a new section? Well, or maybe copy a section. Well, let's see. If I just take this and copy it and then hit paste. All right, so it copied it, but it copied inside of there. All right, so let's undo that. All right, so when you use your up arrow key, it's just kind of going through all or down, up and down, it's going through all the different sections. Yeah, you know what? Let's go to a new, and let's do an absolute new HTML document. What's the difference between HTML and HTML template, though? Nothing. Okay, well, doc5 or doc type is HTML5. Attach CSS. No. Use extract to build your page from Photoshop comps. I'm not sure what that is. I'm just gonna hit create. All right, so obviously this is dead simple right here. And let's see if we can get out that live code thing. So inside of here, you can't actually, I don't think you can add elements. I think they have to be added here in, what's a code navigator? Yeah, so like right now you cannot type code when this live or this what's it called, the live code is up and running. Okay, so that's interesting. So what we'll do is just undo that, and let's add some CSS or HTML. Sorry. So div ID or div class equals container. All right, that's nice. Automatic code completion there. Maybe I'll put in H1. So now as I'm typing, I'm kind of getting a feel for how this editor is responding. So if I put in an opening bracket there, it's going to give us some suggestions. So okay, so H1, hit enter. I would assume that it would have filled that out, but you just have to hit the closing tag. First Dreamweaver project. All right. Okay, there. Well, it's updating up there at least. Okay, that's kind of cool. We'll put a paragraph maybe. All right, so we'll put in. Can we do lorem? No. Well. Oh well. I'll just go ahead real quickly and grab some lorem text from Libsyn.com. There may be a way to get it, but this is the first time using it, and I read 0 docs, obviously, before using this. So, oh, come on. Oh, there it goes. All right, yeah, dirt ugly, obviously, as it would using any other app. Let's put in an A, and that's cool. It gives you the attributes associated with the element that you're adding. So I'll just put ahref equals, won't go anywhere. We'll say my CTA button or my call to action button. And then maybe we'll do div class equals left, and then div class equals right, and I'll just put in an unordered list here. And then can I do Shift Alt and down to replicate? No, it probably has its own keyboard shortcut for replicating a line. No big deal. And then over here for div class right, I'm just going to copy the same thing. All right, so that's enough HTML to get us started. So if I hit save, let's see here. We will, I'm just going to save this here off screen. I'll just save it on, I'll create the appropriate folder real quick. I have a YouTube folder with all my videos, 138. All right, so I'll just call this, I don't know, index.html. All right, cool. So now we have our live view up there. Now let's go ahead and add a CSS file. Now, obviously, we can add it ourselves up here. By the way, what is this? Toggle visual. Format source code, apply source formatting. Okay. Let's take our head in Now let's go ahead and see if, like, if I go ahead and right click, no, go to File. I'm trying to see if, for example, I can just automatically add a CSS file to this without hard coding it. Yeah, I remember when it came to Dreamweaver, you had sites. So this has remained here, that you can manage your sites, and it had like FTP built into it. What snippets? Well, I'm going to hit File, New. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I'm just going to choose CSS. All right, so we'll hit Create and Save. I'll just call it main.css, and I guess I'll just link this up here. So link rel equals style sheet, and then also href equals main.css. All right, so now I wish I had to, do you get live code for CSS? It would be silly if not. View, no, what the hell? Maybe you can split. Well, I guess you could just do that. You can just pull off the CSS file, and then we'll see if I update this, if this gets updated as well. That's what I'm kind of interested in right now. So body, we'll say background, F1, 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 and that's like a real light gray, I think. I can't tell if this is gray or not. Well, I'm just gonna make it yellow. That way we're certain. So I'm saving it, and it's not updating. That's a little strange, the live view. I want to make sure that this is actually working. Let me go to view again, live view options. There should be a way to launch a browser, tools, clean up HTML, manage fonts, library terms and commands, HTML, CSS. Oh, attach style sheet. Let me choose main and hit OK. What is going on here? 1 second. Yeah, I put in this, and now it's updated. Oh, there we go. I guess that's how you do it. You have to go to Tools, CSS, Attach Style Sheet. All right, so now, there we go. Now it's updating as I would have expected. All right, so we'll put in padding, like 5 EM. All right, we'll put font family. Now I have this installed on my system already, so it should work. Otherwise, you would have to import it from Google Fonts, and I'm sure they probably have a tool for that. Managed fonts, there we go. Adobe Edge web fonts, local web fonts, custom font stacks. That's interesting, okay. So if I search for a font like Montserrat, and I hit OK, or done, I'm not sure what that did exactly. It didn't make any change here. Let me try that again. So we'll do tools. We'll find manage fonts. What does this actually do when you click on it? Like that. Edge web fonts gives you access to a library. Maybe I should read the description. Never do that. Same thing with instructions. Gives you access to a library of web fonts made possible by contributions from Adobe, Google, and designs around. Okay, the fonts are served by Typekit, free for use on your website. So list of sans fonts. Here's the categories. By clicking done, you agree to use the Adobe. Okay, so you know what happens when we click done. Click the plus icon in order to add a meter. Okay, that's strange. Tools. I'm trying not to stick to one area too much. Let's see here. We have CCD. What is this stuff? All right, so we have toolbars, arrange, assets, behaviors, code inspector, CSS designer. I'm interested in that. Maybe I'll forget fonts for a second. What is the CSS designer stuff? All right, so we have, okay, this is a little bit complex of a layout here. All right, let me think this out. I figured this out now. Okay, so we click on this first, this H1 for instance, and the source is coming from main.css here. Current. Oh. All right, so we can kind of just construct this. What's computed? Oh, okay. Now if I click on this, all right, now what if I click on, it's kind of slow. I mean, I'm clicking on these and they're slowly updating. This is only allowing me to click on the body. These are, oh, okay. I kind of get it now. It's only going to show what's the rule sets that are defined in here. All right, so if I do, for instance, H1, and then I click on H1, it's now showing up in this CSS designer area. Okay, so properties, click on this plus. All right, so now we can add a proper CSS property. So if we put in font size, now we can put in our values. Okay, so these are just potential values, or we just put them in. So we can probably put like 4EM. All right, so it adds it right there, I guess, so that way we don't have to do anything in terms of writing it here, I guess. Maybe it'll be helpful for people who don't really have really good, strong skills when it comes to CSS. Maybe that's the potential help here. So font size 4EM, we can add what's more. All right, well, we can add a property again like color, and then value. It would be cool if they had like a color picker here. Let's just type in blue and see if it does give you a color picker or not. Well, what about over here? If I click on this element, no. Oh, there it is right there, color. There's the color picker, cool. All right, so coming down, and we'll just make it blue. All right, so hit enter. All right, cool. All right, that's kind of interesting. And what else do we have here? We have our text. Let's see this. Let's click on another one of these. Now again, all right, sources, selectors. Okay, all right, add selector. Okay, I get it. So once you click up here, you click add selector right here, and the selector is simply your reference point based on the HTML element or any ID or class. So it's gonna contain, because this is embedded in a container class and then it's a paragraph element, that's the selector. So we hit enter and we could see it added right there, and then we can add a property. Make the font a little bit bigger, perhaps. Font size. We'll do 1.3 EM. All right, so it's a little bit bigger. Let's do line height. And we'll do all right, we'll increase this a little bit. Okay, so when you click back, it has like this more visual area up here for adjusting your values. So for line height, we can just drag this. Ooh, that was real responsive. Oh my God, what is going on? Yeah, I think it'd be best just to hard code these things. There we go. All right. So let's do one more element real quick. maybe the CTA button. So again, I can click here. What is this plus? Add class ID. We don't need to do that because we only have one. So we'll add a selector. So add container A, hit enter, add property. We'll do padding of like 1 EM. Again, if I click back to it, we have this cool visual way of adjusting the top, right, left, and bottom padding. So that's cool. Inherit though, I didn't do that, did I? There we go. So now here's the outline. Let's do a background. Background color. Oops, I misspelled it. And then background color, I'll just say blue for now. We go back and this updates. So now we can do a color picker. Okay, we'll get that same blue. Let's make the color property why is it not letting me update this? More. There we go, finally, geez. All right, so color, we'll say white or just text decoration. And we'll say none. All right. And then we'll add margin. I just realized I'm recording in 4K resolution. Usually I'm 1920. That's why everything looks really small. Oh well. Hopefully you have a 4K monitor by now. Margin. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'll just put 1EM 0, 1EM 0. Actually, 1EM 0 will work. All right, let me go back here. Let me try adjusting some things here. You know, I may have to display block on this, or inline block. Let me see here. Add property, display. Let's do inline block real quick. There's the option right there. All right, there, and that way our margin is working. All right, so that's interesting, the whole CSS designer. There was also, oh, okay, CSS transitions. That's interesting. Let's try that out real quick. Target. We'll do H1. Transition on active, checked, disabled, focus, hover, intermediate, and target. Let's just do hover for the heck of it. Now use the same transition for all properties as it says. And then use a different transition for each property. Okay. Duration, 1 second. Or the value's over there already. Delay, none. Timing function. So we'll just do ease. And the property, we have all these things that we can, all these CSS properties that we can adjust. So what would make sense if we were hovering over the title of something? Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll change the color to maybe a little bit lighter or something like that. All right, choose where to create the transition. So main.css, there's only one CSS file, so that's there. Now, let's see what it did here. Okay, so it added a transition property with the different prefixes. All right, so it looks pretty clean to me. And there you go. Let's kind of give you a real quick example. All right, cool. So that's transitions. Now let's try adding a media query real quickly. So how did that work? So you click the plus icon on the ruler to add a media query. So the plus icon on the ruler. Oh, okay. So do we drag this up here? How do we do this? Oh, this is where okay, so over here, we can add a media query at a certain point. I'm probably just going to do one to make things simple. We'll add one like right here. All right, and then we click plus. So then we specify the details of the media query here. Max width 40. All right, my computer just ran out of space, my hard drive. But yeah, define in page. I would rather do that, I think, and then hit OK. So does it? Yeah, it adds our media query down there. Just a very quick shorthand method of doing that. So now we can do something like body. Let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, body, we'll say padding, because the padding was 5 EM, so we can change this to something like maybe 2 EM. What I have to do, save it. Not updating. Maybe I have to drag this in. Okay, there, now it's updating. All right, so we'll also change our H1 to what? Fonts, no. Yeah, font size 2.5 EM. There we go. Now it's working because we took the viewport within that 485 pixel area. Okay. Hover. Yep, that still works. And then maybe we'll take our container A element and display block. Also text. Text align center. I'm not even messing around with the unordered list items. I just wanted to see that work. All right, so cool. All right, that's actually pretty nifty. All right, so let's say we're happy with this and we want to view this in the browser. I mean, can I at least, let's save this. Let's get out of here. No. All right, so source code. Can I right click on any of this stuff? Open as separate file. What is this over here? Filter related files. Yeah. File management. I want to see this live view options. Has a get option here. How can I view this? I just want to view it like in a browser. I mean, I know I can open up the file myself. Let's see what happens when we do new site. All right, so Dreamweaver site is a collection of all the files and assets you use in your website. A local folder on your computer where you store and work on the files, and then a remote folder on the server where you post them. All right, you can associate this site with a Git repository, and you can even initialize as a Git repository, or we can clone an existing one. That's interesting. So servers, here you'll attach a server to host your pages on site. The settings for this dialog come from your ISP or your web administrator. So we click add and then add the FTP credentials over here. Blah, blah, blah. CSS preprocessors enable auto compilation on file serve. That's pretty cool. So if I had chosen when I attach the CSS to this page, if I had chosen Sass, then we could have had Sass working. We have advanced settings here. Very interesting. All right, so what I guess I'll do is let me open up this real quick. and I put this on a specific folder. Where is it at? All right, so I still have my right there index. And there we go. We can actually see it in there. I'm sure there's probably an area where you can launch the browser or whatever. And then we'll drag this in, and it is responsive. That's pretty cool. We have that transition occurring. All right. Overall, I think I'm pretty impressed with this. It's definitely changed big time from when I first used it. And I remember, like, front page, especially from Microsoft, was something that, you know, the code that is generated was just, it was very bloated, and I had a lot of unnecessary stuff. But upon my first use of, you know, Dreamweaver here, it's been like 13 years. Yeah, obviously they've kept up with it, and I have to say it's pretty decent. And of course, this is not a sponsored post. They didn't pay me for this. Am I going to switch to it? Probably not. It feels a little bit slow, but I think maybe that's because I'm recording. Usually I scale down the desktop to 1920 by 1080, but I forgot to do that, and I'm in 4K. That's why everything looks a little bit small right now. And that will slow down the computer when I'm recording at the same time. But no, overall, it's pretty cool. I'm not certain if Visual Studio Code, for instance, has like a live view plugin like this, but it is cool to kind of be able to do this on the fly. I know, for instance, when it comes to Visual Studio Code and you're doing HTML and CSS and you work on the aesthetics of a project, you know, usually you just kind of have a split view where you take in the window of Visual Studio Code, and next to it you can put a browser window with live reload automatically added. So it's kind of the same thing, although in this case you don't even have to save. It just does it automatically. So that's pretty cool. So overall, I think I have to say I have a pretty positive first use case of Dreamweaver. Man, it's been a long time. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that. This was just kind of a quick you know, off the cuff sort of video. I'm trying to do videos daily now during the week, the weekdays, as much as possible. So yeah, if you're interested in you're especially new and you probably need help with the different rule sets and values and properties and something more visual, then yeah, definitely check that out. All right, guys, I'll see you very soon with a new tutorial. Make sure you subscribe here, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.